third starport now, so he can be getting these medevacs 2 at a time, and he may be focusing on some drops now. It looks like he has rallied here. This could be so he can do some drops. Yeah, it looks like his medevacs are rallied there as well, or it could be just because he wants to do the nice scouting, because he knows that his front is pretty much unbreakable just with what he has right now versus a bio ball, because the siege tanks are already sieged. What you want to do with a bio ball like this is you want to rely on drops, and he does have a couple of medevacs there, as well as you want to try to catch the Terran who's meching. You want to try to catch him out of position. So attack him before he sieges or as he's sieging, because the mech player really needs to get those couple extra volleys off. That's right, I said it. Extra volleys off with the siege tanks in order to make them really, really good and just really do the damage that they need to do. Meanwhile, these are marauders. If you just select the marauders and click on the siege tanks and then have the marines kill everything else, then those siege tanks will go down incredibly quickly if you can close the distance. But again, this is quite a hard front to attack into right now, so we're going to have to see how Loner decides he's going to break it. Although really, what he's doing at this point is he's saying, you know what, I'm not even going to try to break it, although he is moving out right now. But really, he's content to just take a third really quick and be like, well, okay, you're turtling up, I'll just take a third, that's fine. You have mech, you're not going to be attacking really very, very quickly. Okay, it looks like, oh, let's check these upgrades really quick. So we have Marine King at 1 attack, 0 armor, and no upgrades for his mech, versus Loner, who has, wait for it. He has 1-1 now. I was going to say, yeah. He has 1-1, but it looks like Marine King's 1 is about to finish as well. So we're going to see Loner controlled that watchtower, so he's going to know exactly what's happening. And this is what I'm talking about. These siege tanks need to be sieged. He loses 1 even before they're sieged, and Loner's doing a decent job of trying to unclump his units and make a line, but he does pull back. And look at this. He's going to pull back just enough to be out of range of the siege tanks, and as soon as siege tanks start firing, he's going to pull back again. So trying to negate these siege tanks as much as possible and able to snipe one at the beginning of that engagement. Although Marine King has a ton of Marines per his namesake and a good amount of other units as well, both medevacs and siege tanks. And it looks like these siege tanks are going to just be totally not late to the party again, as these Marines are pretty much single-handedly, oh wow, that hurt. These Marines are single-handedly just taking out Loner's whole force, and he's doing that by using the siege tanks to force Loner's army to pull back. Now you can see they both, in the minimap, they both have these sensor towers up, so they can both scout for drops before they happen. I kind of like Marine King's sensor tower placement better because he can see on both sides exactly what's going to be happening. Okay, these siege tanks are in a good spot, and it looks like they are going to be doing quite a bit of damage. These Marines who are their shields, though, are totally gone, and it looks like Marauders are going to be closing with the siege tanks, and they do have a decent spread. So I'm going to see, it looks like, oh no, Marine King is going to be losing every single siege tank. Oh wow, and now Loner with control of the map again, and an Expo up, although it looks like Marine King did expand behind that attack. That's great. Whenever you put on pressure, and especially the pros do this a ton, when they put on pressure like that, they always expand behind it. So yes, he did lose his army, but he does have his third up. Little does he know that Loner has had his third up for quite a while, and look at this. There is mules being dropped, and he does have a decent amount of SCVs there as well. Blah, blah, blah. So if we go to the income tab, we can see, yes, that Loner does have a bit of a lead. He has more harvesters, but he also has that third base hub, and there's a little bit more of a worker transfer going on. So Loner in a pretty good spot right now. Let's go to the units lost tab, and we can see, oh, geez, that is dead even as far as resources go. It doesn't get much more even than that. So the big thing to note is, although everything else, let's go back to the production tab, is to everything else looks pretty much even, although Loner does have his third up a little bit sooner, is that these siege tanks take so long to produce. That's going to be the real thing, as the Marine Marauder Ball can be rebuilt quite quickly, and these Marines, as you can see, he already has a ton more Marines, but these siege tanks are really the damage dealers and the pusher backers of his army, and those are the ones that take forever to build. So the fact that he lost like 5 or 6 siege tanks in that last engagement is really going to slow down the muscle of his army and the scariness of his army. Ooh, look at this. We do have a drop coming over here from Loner, so we're going to have to see what he can do, and this is really good. He knows that Marine King has a scary force at his front door, so he's going to try to make him pull back, and we're going to see if it does work. He also has a ton of units here, so he's preparing for the event that Marine King decides to just push in, and it looks like, I'm kind of curious to see what Marine King does here. So here's the drop by Loner. Going to be doing quite a bit of damage. Going to be moving in, seeing what he can do. And what is Marine King going to do to counter? He's going to be moving units that he has up here down. I really am curious right here, though. This is what I want to see. I want to see what he decides to do with that. It looks like that tank is going to go down. And Loner, wow, with still a ton of units, is going to be doing tons of damage, probably take out this expansion. And yeah, okay, you can see up at the top here, Marine King is going to be pushing in. He's like, screw it, I gotta make something happen, guys. So it looks like, oh man, indecision now. He doesn't know what to do. He's running back and forth, but he's not actually doing anything. Marine King trying to. He does have one siege tank up here, so he may be able to hold this off for now, but I don't know if it was worth it because he has already lost his third. That was a great drop from Loner. And here comes Marine King. He is going to be doing all the damage he possibly can. He has his Marines going. He has siege tanks behind them. The siege tanks look like they're actually out of position. There we go. Now they're doing damage. And we're going to have to see exactly what happens. Look at Marine King is losing Marines so fast. And Loner may just actually push through this again. It looks like he is. He's running back. And both siege tanks do go down. And it looks like Marine King is on the retreat. He has been beaten back out of the front of Loner's base, and he has lost his third. So Marine King in a really bad spot here. We're going to have to see what he can possibly do. He's splitting up his units, trying to get them out of here, and it looks like he will save what is left of his army. But really, if we look at the supplies, let's see. Units, income. Is that it? No. I don't. Hang on. Army. There we go. If you look at the supplies, wow. You can see that Loner is ahead by 40 supply at this point, which is quite a bit. He also has a third up that Marine King has lost, so he's making quite a bit more money than Marine King is. Although it looks like the armies are decently the same. It looks like Loner just has a ton more SCVs, and yeah, it looks like MarineKingPrime is actually long distance mining from this expansion at the moment. Here is going to be the what may be the final battle. I'm not exactly sure, but these tanks, it's going to be up to these tanks. He does have 4 tanks. How much damage can they do? But it looks like he is losing his Marines too fast, and this is a great concave that Loner has, and he's going to be pushing in here, and I don't think the Marine King is going to be able to build back from this, considering Loner is at his front door, and there's the GG. Wow, great game by these amazing players.